Back in the 1960s, the United States Congress and newspapers from all over the United States revealed to the world that banks by the hundreds in states all over the nation were involved in financing monthly payments to perpetrate and to further the crimes associated with the real estate frauds that were rampant in the western United States, Florida, the Poconos, the Carolinas, Texas, all the way out to Hawaii. These real estate fraud schemes and these financing arrangements, the mortgages, the real estate fraud schemes and the mortgages, the object to the whole racketeering enterprise is to secure the agreement by the consumer, the mark, to make monthly payments. It's crime by installments. Now, I'm calling on Oliver Max Garner and Gretchen Morgensen and William Black and the producers and the filmmakers involved in The Con to come to grips with this fact. None of it works without the monthly installment payments, because the investors of the bundled up securities won't buy the bundled up fraudulent monthly installment payment contracts. I said that correctly. The bundled up monthly installment contracts for the real estate that was used to lure and bait the consumers into this entire nightmare. During the early part of the 1960s, the United States Congress held hearings on rampant, massive mafia involvement, organized crime involvement, in swindling people for monthly installments on the purchases of real estate. Now, lots of it was just, vacant land. That's a given. That's the facts of the matter. But the bottom line here is you can't sell a condo, you can't sell a townhouse or an apartment building, you can't sell a convenience store or a residence, a domicile, also known as a house. You can't make a mortgage unless there's a dwelling involved, a house involved. But it all has to be built on a piece of land. This entire fiasco is just an extension and an advanced, morphed, how could you say it, refined version of the real estate schemes and scams that the United States Congress had hearings on as early as 1963. Hell, they were investigating it in the 1950s. Ladies and gentlemen, this dirt dealing, dirt flipping, real estate fraud, scheming and scamming, bundling up the installment payment contracts and turning them into mortgage-backed securities all relies on each individual monthly installment contract for the purchase of each individual piece of real estate. This is nothing more Patrick Lovell and Alex and William Black and Gretchen Morgensen and, Mark Stopa. I can go all day long with you fellows. Bottom line is, Toxic Zombie Developments has been telling this story for as long as 40 years. Don Bowles, Paul Friggins, let's see, who else has been telling this story? Stephen Pizzo, Mary Fricker, Martin Mayer, Peter Bruton of the Houston Chronicle, Kathy Gordon of the Houston Chronicle, the Houston Post. Back in the early part of the 1980s, these real estate frauds and schemes and scams have been being revealed by the Orlando, Sentinel, the Phoenix Republic, the Chicago Tribune, all over this nation. From the New York Times wrote about it exceedingly. Gretchen Morgensen knows that. You bet it. You bet, Gretchen Morgensen. I've been following these real estate schemes and real estate scams since the 1960s. My parents were real estate developers in New York. I just found it interesting back in those days. So I'm going to leave it right here, folks, because I can go for weeks. I can literally go for weeks, boiling it down to this fact. The whole scheme only works if they get the consumer, the mark, to agree to make monthly payments. This is crime by installment. And every single time these payments are collected month after month after month after month, it's a furtherance of the original crime spree. Now, folks, I don't have to go any further than that. The whole bundled up mortgage-backed securities racket only functions if the consumers, the buyers, the so-called borrowers, agree to those monthly installment payments. Now, that's not very complicated, is it? Oliver Max Garner, Mark Stopa, Matt Wiedner. I can name lawyers all day long. Bill Black. It only works. Ask Cat Wolford. Catherine Wolford knows. And Bill Black knows doggone well who Cat Wolford is. Folks, I'm going to leave it right there. As always, all the links and information you need are below. And hasta la vista. God bless. And you can betcha we're coming back.